everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm back today with a box full of hand-picked goodies that I selected from beadingschool.com. Now, Beading School, this is the newly emerged site by Erika, the storytelling jeweler. I shared that site about a month or so ago, and she said she's been in the works of a rebranding because she wants to make the focus on other beaders, not just what she's sharing, but cultivating a sense of community in the beading world, especially with the pandemic. Lots of people going through changes in their lives, adapting to new situations, and just wanting that sense of community and being able to share with kind and like-minded beaders. So she's got lots of great community events and workshops that she shares on a regular basis that you are more than welcome to attend. You can find all of that information on beadingschool.com, especially if you check under the section called No One Has to Bead Alone. It's really awesome that she's doing this, and you can tell that she is not just trying to maintain a bead shop business, but that is something that helps to keep her going and keep coming back for live broadcasts to not only help teach, but also to bring bead enthusiasts together. So I have a box to share from the bead shop portion of beadingschool.com. I'm going to share with you the contents. I, again, selected all of these items myself. I have a few ideas in mind for finished pieces, which I will share in the next finished jewelry update. And this video will just be an unboxing. And also, after we take a look at what's inside, I'm going to take you through the website for just a minute so that you can familiarize yourself with it. And I'll give you some tips about shopping on beadingschool.com. Now, I do have a coupon code that they generously set up. It is for non-discounted merchandise. The coupon code is Orchid, ORCHID. I will leave that as well as the link right down below the video if you'd like to shop on their site. Maybe you'd like to start perusing beadingschool.com and what they have in their bead shop while you're watching the video and while you're unboxing with me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up. So this came inside of a mailer. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my shopping experience. The shipping and communication is fantastic. Their little team is very professional, and you can tell if they care about what they do. Inside of this box, which I thought was cute, it said, "Beads, your selection, happy beading." And inside I have the contents of what I selected, nice and neat and bubble wrapped and safely packaged. So let's open this up. So we have our smaller box, happy beading, and gifts. Oh my goodness. So this is a great way to start out the box. So you may recall when I shared the last video, the storytelling jeweler, I shared a Preciosa box because Erika has specially curated several boxes, which I highly recommend. I did the ocean theme, which was lots of blues and greens. And it was amazing at how much they packed into a box, probably a quarter of the size. So anyway, here is a box that is a little bit larger. Right on top, I've got some gifts, and it's nice that they have included a label on each of these baggies to tell you what's inside. And aren't these absolutely gorgeous? So I'm a huge fan of the 12mm cushion cut. I just find those really fun to bead around. And what a perfect color. I mean, I think they knew I would like this color. And you know me, I want to take these out and get a closer look, show you all the sparkle. Those are absolutely gorgeous. I wasn't sure at first in the package if they were the kind that didn't have the back enameling on them. They do have the back, and they are so sparkly though. That lovely violet shade of purple. Oh my goodness, stunning. So these are Preciosa. What you're going to see today are a lot of Preciosa crystals because, as many of you have heard, the future of Swarovski crystals is not looking so good, and a lot of us are looking for other alternatives. Preciosa definitely makes a great range of crystals. So here's another gift. We have some piggy beads, very cute. So these are the jet black with an AB finish coating. I'm sure the coating is on that convex side, and you can see the two holes that are slightly off center. Fun for some bead weaving projects. And then another little baggie here. I am not quite sure what this is. I have a feeling I know what it is, but let's see. You all, I think we have some chocolate. I think we have some chocolate in the box. That's a nice touch. I love that. So very sweet that they have included a little chocolate. Now, I'm not sure if they include the little gifts with every purchase or if it's a certain threshold that you reach or if everybody gets a little chocolate. Just throwing that out there as a disclaimer, I would think so, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. So that is so sweet. I'm actually going to get organized here with this box. If I lift up this portion, everything underneath is what I picked out personally, and I wanted to pick out a range of different items because they do have all different types of things in their shop, ranging from seed beads to multi-hole check glass shapes, all sorts of crystals, preciosa and otherwise, tons of metal components, findings, cabochons, and that's in addition to the curated boxes and patterns by Erika and even full beading kits. So what I have here in the box is approximately a total of 100 euros, which I don't have my calculator in front of me, but I think that translates to roughly $120, $125 US. They ship internationally, of course, and it just depends on your location, what the shipping cost is. All that information is on their website, and they do have two different options, whether you want an expedited shipping where you pay a little bit more, or they have a flat rate, which I think is around $6, and it could take a couple weeks if you're in the US because these items ship straight from Slovakia, which is totally understandable. So anyway, let me get organized and we'll take a look at all of these and go through the contents sort of roughly by category. All right, the first things I'm going to show you are from the seed bead section. So these are all Miyuki seed beads, high quality Japanese glass. These are the two selections of size 11.0 that I picked out. I have a canary yellow matte Picasso and a seafoam green matte Picasso. These both contain 5 grams inside of their packages. I just love that Picasso finish. And there was a method to my madness as far as the color palette that I picked out for this entire order. I'm going to flash my inspiration picture on the screen. Right now, I'm really inspired by springtime and the warmer weather and the beautiful flowers of nature, the uplifting pastels and more richer tones that we're starting to see outside. So you're going to see a lot of that deep green turquoise, olive greens, some golds and yellows, some corally pinks and tans. And the hope is that with everything that I have picked out, which I'm sure there will be no issue because there's lots of stuff here to show you, that I will be able to come back with some finished pieces straight from this order. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that later on this month. So these are the first 2 baggies of seed beads I picked out. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, 11.0 seed beads are a staple in most bead weaving, so I had to get some of those. And I also picked out 2 baggies of size 15.0 seed beads. I wanted to get a more neutral metallic, but also this goes in line with the color palette. It's kind of a mustardy yellow, but it is a matte galvanized gold in the Duracoat finish, which is important. And also I picked out this olive green tone with the Picasso finish. So I have my 15.0 seed beads covered with these in just slightly different colors from the 11s, which should blend nicely. And I also picked out a bag of some size 11.0 Miyuki Delicas in this golden sort of mustardy shade as well. This is different than anything I currently have in my stash, so I figured that would be nice to have, but also it'll be a nice accent with some of these other seed beads in case I want to use some Delicas. And then next, these are still considered seed beads. These are Miyuki half Tilas. I picked these out in this lovely kind of transparent Picasso olivine. You can see the little splashes of brown and tan over top of that greenish shade that you can kind of see through. And some of these bags, I just want to point out, they have a number right here. So if you're curious as to exactly what I ordered, you can always plug in that number in the search bar on their website, on the bead shop. And that should take you directly to the item. So in case it doesn't have the exact name, you don't see that on the label, you can just put in that number and it'll bring it right up on their website. They also have a selection of the quarter tilas and even the full tilas. I didn't pick out any full tilas this time, but I did get these very bright matte opaque yellow AB quarter tilas. I figured that would be a great pop of yellow to add to some of these more muted spring-like tones and really add some energy depending on how I want to use these. And then the final item from the Miyuki section are some long magatamas. These are in Picasso Opaque Seafoam Green. Just loving that Picasso, what that adds to the seafoam green color and the overall palette that I picked out this month. These magatamas are really interesting. I'd like to work with them some more. You can see they're kind of cut in a diagonal and they have that hole at the top. They are a drop-like shape. After checking out the Miyuki section, I went to the multi-hole Czech glass shapes. And first I picked out these absolutely luscious pastel powdery pink gem duos. They of course have that diamond-like shape with the two holes that run through either end of the bead. That is just such a gorgeous pastel pink color, and I'm thinking they will be gorgeous if I wanted to use them as flower petals or something, but they just are a great pink, very girly complement to some of these other more neutral or muted tones besides that bright yellow. The next item are these Amos Parpuca beads. This is in the color Dorado, which is this very metallic gold. You can see the teardrop shape and the two holes that run through the bead. One going through the smaller portion that's pointed, the other one going through that wider base. So just another example of the multi-hole shapes that you can find on Beading School. They do carry some of the Parpuca line, and also they carry some super duos in all different colors. These are in the color Gold Shine, which are a satiny looking, more mustard yellow type gold. I think those will play nicely with the palette. And then the final shape I picked out are these disc duos. These are a 6mm rounded pressed shape with two holes that run through the bead. These are in the color Pastel Lime. Look at that gorgeous kind of light olive green. So you can see I was trying to go with some different colors and different shapes in these multi-hole Czech glass beads that they carry. And right now I think it would be fun to start looking at some of the crystals. They have, of course, Preciosa. They have other types of gorgeous glass crystals, some Swarovski crystals for now, and a whole range of pressed glass cabochons. Of course, they also have bicones and other types of machine-cut crystals. But let's get into more of the cabochons, like the Rivolis and chatons. So this is a bag containing 6 of the 8mm Preciosa chatons in Indian pink, and I am going to take all these crystals out so we can really enjoy their sparkle. Look at that lovely deep rosy pink, absolutely stunning. So I love that they come in a pack of 6, and I have one turned over just so you can see the back. Excellent quality, excellent cut, very sparkly, and something I'd be very happy to work with. I wanted to add a deeper pop of pink to this palette, and all these crystals and everything really, they just look so much prettier in person, even though they look great online. And they've done a great job capturing the images of exactly what you can expect color-wise and what things should look like. It's just, there's something else about actually having these items in your hand and in your face to look at and enjoy. Here's the next bag of crystals. These are 10mm round glass cabochons in Pacific Opal. I cannot even tell you how much I'm enjoying this color. I could dive right in, and they are not only a beautiful color, but you get that light that just reflects off the back so beautifully. You get some of that golden light play that's coming through, and that's why I'm slightly moving these around so you can enjoy that as well. They're cut beautifully, as you can see, and then there is a look at the back of these. So these aren't listed as Preciosa. These are actually just listed in their glass cabochon section, which is different from the section called Preciosa Crystal. So be sure to look in the glass cabochon section too if you want some beautiful crystals that may not necessarily be Preciosa. These are absolutely divine. And then going up in size a little bit, here are some 12mm cushion cut in Sunflower, another golden yellow tone to add to some of these other colors in our crystal palette. These have the enameling on the back. These are a classic cushion cut, stunning golden yellow color. I thought these would be beautiful in the center of something, maybe to give off the impression of a flower. A lot of times you see some of these golden tones in the center of a flower. So I wanted to be sure to pick up some cabochons or cut stones of some sort in a golden color. And I saw these and I could not turn them down because even in the picture online, I could tell they'd be absolutely gorgeous. These are the 14mm Preciosa Rivolis in Crystal AB. Oh my goodness, even in the bag, they're so sparkly. I really appreciate how they have everything packaged too, by the way. They have these safe and sound tucked into those little dividers so they're not rubbing up against each other and you don't have to worry about them possibly scraping together and shipping or anything. I mean, these are so sparkly that I know you can see that like halo coming off of the top of them. Oh my goodness. So these are a Preciosa, like I said. Definitely a great alternative to Swarovski. Once again, if that doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Oh, I could just look at these for a while, but I'm gonna have to put them down. These I figured would catch a lot of the different colors that are in the palette I picked out all together because they are more of a neutral, but they also just pick up a lot of blues and greens and even a little bit of that mustard and pink and really pick up whatever they are reflecting back. Also going with a even larger size, I have an 18 by 18 glass cabochon. This is a cushion cut in Vitriol Rose. So I believe this is another one just in the glass cabochon section, not necessarily Preciosa. And another option that I thought picked up a lot of the colors that I was picking up this month. You can see the olive greens, the pinks, the golds all together in this one stone. It is gorgeous. And there's a look at the back. Very well done and very pleased with the stone. And I might as well just show you the setting that I picked out too, because she's got a whole range of settings on her sites and different tones of metal, and I went ahead and picked up the 18 by 18 golden tone cushion cut setting in case I wanted to place that in a setting to bead around. Here's a closer look at what that looks like. You've got the holes down there, and basically you can just set that stone in its golden setting. It sits perfectly because it's made for that size and shape. And then you would just take some pliers and gently squeeze down on those prongs. It'll hold it in place, and you can use those holes down there to your advantage if you want to bead around this stone. In addition to that 18 by 18, I also went ahead and got some 12mm cushion cut golden tone settings because I knew I had those sunflower golden color cushion cuts to work with. So I picked those up just in case I wanted to use them. Of course, you don't have to. I also have a bag that was hiding over here. How could I forget these 4 12mm trillion triangle glass cabochons in white opal? So another kind of more neutral tone that would go with pretty much anything you decide to put these with. Aren't they beautiful? I've been working on a bezel recently, a pretty simple seed bead bezel actually for these trillion stones that I'll be sharing in the near future. So I wanted to pick up some of this shape on her site to play around with too. I love that there is a 4-pack, and you really can't go wrong with that milky white opal shade that also has that reflective quality where you get little hints of that fiery, colorful light play that ends up picking up a lot of what's around it. In addition to those stones, I picked up one of these larger 24mm pressed glass cabochons. This is in pink coral. They had all different colors. This one was beautiful with this palette. And it's got that slight luster to it. Not only does it have the little bit of mottled light pink and rosy pink, but also that golden luster that is just coated over the top. Beautiful piece that will be fun to work with. That'll be a focal for sure. And then I mentioned that they also had some bicones, so I picked up some of those. Definitely another staple size and shape to work with. These are the 4mm Preciosa bicones in light burgundy. So these add a little bit more of a deeper reddish brown tone to the mix. There's a close-up look at these. You can see how they are cut very well. The shape is precise. The holes are drilled smooth. Nothing's cracked or anything, and they still have that lovely sparkle. I still have more beads to share with you, but let me go ahead and show you some of the crystals in the metal settings and also some of the other metallic components I picked out before we finish up with the beads. I have a bag containing some 17 by 11mm crystal connectors in peachy rose. It was really hard to narrow down which color selection I wanted in these connectors, and they have different shapes too. And I'm holding this one up here so you can see how the light passes right through it. You can see how beautifully it's cut. And I just love that light peachy pink color. You can use one of these maybe on top of a beaded pendant. That would be stunning. And since I hadn't picked out a peachy pink colored crystal, I figured I'd get this color in the already placed metal setting with the connectors to use somehow. And by the way, they didn't ask me to pick out a color coordinated palette or anything like that. That's just the way that my mind was working. I knew I wanted to come back with some finished pieces, and having the privilege to pick out a selection of things from their site was so exciting. I could easily get overwhelmed with all the different things that they carry, and I think having a palette helped me narrow that down and gets me excited and inspired because I love having a color coordinated palette to work with. So hopefully that'll help me come out with some new beautiful pieces for you soon. Here is a toggle clasp I picked out. I picked out golden tones of findings this time. The gold seemed to go well with all of these other colors. So this is called the Dottie Hexagon Gold Clasp, and it's a 12 by 21mm, kind of on the smaller side. Really dainty details, feels like good quality, and they just have a jump ring holding those components together. That's actually pretty smart, having them sold that way, so you know that one piece doesn't get away from the other. And then a pair of earring findings. Aren't these cute? Look at that little swirly design. Really high quality looking detailed earring findings, but also simple. They kind of remind me of a little vine. Simple elegance. 10 by 16mm earring hooks, kind of on the smaller side as well. And then they have that loop down there where you can attach your beadwork easily. Next, I have a bag containing some rhinestone cup chain. This is in Aqua Bohemica in raw setting, kind of that brassy color, 2.1mm, so a smaller crystal size than the range of sizes that this comes in. Look at that lovely sparkly bluish tone, absolutely beautiful, and would be pretty not only in bead weaving but also embroidery. I really admire a lot of Erika's embroidery pieces. She's just so talented, and I'd love to get more into embroidery, so we'll see how that goes as time goes on. But this is just one of those items that really makes me think of bead embroidery when I see that dainty rhinestone cup chain in all the different colors. And by the way, they are having a really amazing special right now on their site that they wanted me to share. I think it's until Tuesday. It's on a bundle of rhinestone cup chain, different colors and sizes, kind of in a bulk order if you wanted to get a whole bunch at once at a price they'll probably not be able to offer again. Now, once again, the coupon code ORCHID, that's good on non-discounted items, so it wouldn't be good on top of that, but it's already a very good price if you want to check that out. I have a couple more golden components to share, some filigree. This is a 22 by 18mm filigree flower connector in yellow gold. And there's actually two of these stampings in the bag. These are so stunning. I love all the details. And there's so many different openings. You can use these for the back of your beadwork if you want to. I know Erika's got a lot of different, very artistic and creative ways to use these different filigree components. You'll have to check out her site again to see finished pieces and other tutorials and different things that she's done with all these components. And when you shop her site, a lot of these items are things that she uses in her kits, in her teaching, in her beadwork. So that is why she's offering these things, because she has already used them or plans to use them. These are all items that she would want to use as well. Here's some filigree yellow gold components, 23 by 23. And just looking at the shape of these, I thought they might be beautiful for a beaded flower pendant. They already provide a great form for that if you wanted to use these to bead on top of. Just imagine a sparkly stone in the middle of that. And the fact that this is open, if you use a stone that is not enameled on the back, it would still allow the light to pass through. And she has so many different components to choose from. It was hard to narrow it down to just picking out a couple of my favorites to share. And then finally, I wanted to wrap up this portion of the video with a few other Czech glass beads in staple sizes. For example, some Czech glass pearls. We have some 2mm rounds, and I have the alabaster pearl blush and the metallic suede light green. Two gorgeous colors to go along with what I picked out. I won't take these out of the bag just in interest of time. I really want to show you her website after this for just a minute if you want to stick around. I will take these out though. These are the 9 by 10mm briolets in jet bronze. There is just something about the shape that I love. So it has a hole that runs through the top of the bead, and I think these are gorgeous to add to the bottoms of an earring or a pendant. You can see that slightly faceted shape, these plump little teardrops, and that well-coated metallic bronze color. I also picked up a bag of some of these 6mm, what they're calling the double pyramid bicone beads. These are in chalk white lila luster. Lovely pastel pink, and I've seen these called Lucerna bicones or just Czech bicones. They are the bicone shape with the smoother edges. I also have some of these 3mm rounds. These are the melon-shaped beads. You can see the little ribbed edges, and these are an opaque luster Picasso, a neutral that will go with almost anything, kind of in a sandy color with those darker brown colors settling into the ridges. She also carries a range of fire polish beads. I picked out some 3mm this time in the saturated metallic grenadine. So these are in a coppery orangish red shade and are also in that metallic finish. And the final bag is this pop of lime green. These are the 6mm fire polish beads in opaque olivine. And wow. What a beautiful bead mat of goodies that I was able to get from beadingschool.com. And Erika, thank you so much for allowing me to pick these items out to share, and also for having everything packaged up so wonderfully and safely. I find that visiting beadingschool.com is just a lot of fun anyway, because as she has stated, it's kind of like she wants to make it feel that you're going through her own bead stash, opening up her drawers and organizers, seeing what she has in her own stash, and generating that fun and sense of community where maybe you wish you could bead with other people. I know for me, I just don't have anybody in my life that does any beading personally. I've never known anybody personally who has been into the hobby like this. So I really gravitate toward other people like Erika who share that passion and find fun and relaxation in all of these things. So it's kind of like visiting a friend's beading nook when you go on her site, because her level of enthusiasm, I think, really comes through. And not only is she offering some of these things for sale, but she's also working with the things herself while teaching others and generating that sense of community where everybody can come together and learn from each other and share what everybody's doing with all these different things. So once again, definitely use that coupon code ORCHID to save 10% off your order of non-discounted merchandise. You can check out their site for all the details on shipping and all those different things, but you can rest assured they definitely care about their customers, and their service and packaging is wonderful. So that wraps up the unboxing portion of this video. Now I just want to give you a little peek at the website if you want to stick around, and I'll give you a tip that I found really helpful when shopping all these beautiful things. All right, so here we are on Erika's website, beadingschool.com. You can see right away, new beginning, a different name and colors, but the same care, inspiration, and family feeling, which is absolutely the truth. You can see here on the top, you have your menu, home, bead shop. That's where you find all the goodies that you just saw. Also, the hashtag no one has to bead alone. That's where you can see some of the past workshops that she's done, and shares with you a pattern that you can get free for a few days after the broadcast. That's where everybody's able to come together and do a project together. There's also Beading School TV, where you can find some of her past videos to learn more about, for example, bead embroidery and different topics. Of course, they have their own YouTube channel too, so you can follow them on all of their different social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. Definitely do that. Then she's also got a blog where she shares more about her art and the story behind it. She shares more about teaching different topics. So many different things you can learn from the things that she has in her blog, of course. Then there's a community tab where she talks about the Beading School community, why it's called Beading School, why she changed the name, and more about what she's trying to generate here. So of course you can join that community. It's a Facebook group if you want to join that and come together with other kind-hearted fellow beaders and learn from everybody and just have a good time. She's also, of course, got the About Us page where she talks more about her background and how she got into beading, and then the contact information. You'll definitely want to set up an account if you plan to shop. That's really quick and easy to do, of course. You got your cart up here in the right-hand corner. When you go to Bead Shop, that's where you can find all the different categories of things she has to offer. So we have everything, I believe, in alphabetical order, from art cabochons, beading kits. That's where I was saying she offers full beading kits. You can get your thread, like your fire line. She's got tutorials that you can pick up and print out. All sorts of components, from fabric to metals. You got your fire polish beads, glass pearls, glass components and metal settings, you name it. You can see all of these different things for yourself, the different crystals, Miyuki section, pressed glass cabochons, sew-on glass components. Here's the shaped glass beads, and even ending with workshops and classes. You can also check out the section with the special offers. That's where you can find that special offer on that cup chain once in a lifetime deal, which is just good for a few days. If you go back to Bead Shop, you can also find those curated boxes that I shared before. If you go to Curated Collections by Erika, that's where those awesome Preciosa crystal boxes are. So I shared the ocean box in a video about a month ago. There's also different color combinations like romantic and forest and rainbow, elegant, fire. She's also got a luxury component box. She's got a signature box. So if you're interested in those types of things, you can check those out too. So many things to offer. And also on the side, the menu of the items that you can shop are listed there too. So one little tip for you, if you go to, say, let's just go to Preciosa Crystal. If we click on that, you'll notice there's a lot of different items. So she's got 487 listings. Now, some of these are going to be out of stock. So what you want to do is, if you scroll down on the left-hand side, something I found super helpful when I was shopping was to check this little checkbox where it says in stock, and that will show you what is actually available at the time. So even though there's 400 some odd items, there's 300 that are actually in stock, and that will help you when you're shopping so you're not disappointed if you want to add something to your cart that's not there. And then of course you see something, you can just add it to your cart, and you can choose to view your cart right away or go back up to your cart in the corner and see that later. And that's where you can add your coupon code ORCHID to save 10% off your non-discounted items. She's also got things separated out in a very organized way. So even if you do click on Preciosa crystals, for example, you can choose, well, do you want beads, cabochons, cup chain, the different types of things that you might want to get. Let's say we just want to look at some of these Preciosa crystal stones. We can click on Preciosa cabochon. She's even got it narrowed down even more if you want to. And if you scroll down on the left again, just click that in stock checkbox. And that way you're just looking at things that are available at the time. So that was my main handy tip for you, but I just wanted to bring you this to show you and familiarize you with her site, to show you how beautiful it is and all the different things that she has besides just the bead shop. Definitely want to scroll down and you can check out some of her tips down here that are very helpful, and sign up for her email newsletter because she does send free beading tutorials to your inbox when you sign up. There's a new in the bead shop section, Erika's picks, different articles from the bead blog, and so many different things. So not only did I have a great shopping experience on her site, but we were also able to meet live one-on-one in a video call, which was a great experience. I really look forward to working with Erika and her team more as time goes on. Hopefully I'll have lots more from beadingschool.com to share with you all. And of course, more finished pieces and tutorials that will spin off of these pieces to come. So a huge thank you to you all for watching today. A huge thank you to Erika and the team for reaching out to me for some more ongoing collaboration. I hope this was helpful for you all to learn more about Erika and beadingschool.com and the community environment that she has to offer. So no one has to bead alone. That is the main thing. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. And I'd love to have you subscribe while you're here. So definitely hit that button so you'll be notified when I'm up to more beading fun. I'd love to hear your thoughts on beadingschool.com, and I'm sure Erika and the team would love to hear them too. So feel free to share your thoughts down below. I'll be back again real soon. And in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.